Hello my motor enthusiasts. Today's topic is the pulsating world of Formula One tactics and team dynamics, something that's been quite contentious of late.
Indeed, Enzo Watts. The spotlight's particularly glaring on McLaren's recent decisions, isn't it?
Absolutely, William. Lando Norris, McLaren's shining star, had quite the eventful time. Winning in Miami but then facing strategy blunders back in Blighty at the British Grand Prix.
Oh, that was a muddle with the tyres, right? When the rain threw a wrench in their plans.
Spot on. Norris was leading when the heavens opened, and instead of a quick double stack for wet tyres, they fumbled, costing him precious positions.
And then in Hungary, Norris starts on pole but gets overtaken by his own teammate and Max Verstappen, only to have a bit of a steward's drama unfold.
Yes, and amidst all that chaos, McLaren's choice to prioritise Hamilton for the tyre change when Norris was ahead left many questioning their tactics.
Seems like their radio communiques have also raised eyebrows. Not the clearest, were they?
Far from it, William. Some former drivers even called them out for being vague and, at times, rather condescending.
With all this, McLaren's strategies are under the microscope. They really need to tighten up their game, don't they?
They do, William. For Norris and McLaren, every point counts, and these slip-ups could be very costly in the long run. Let's dive deeper into this, shall we? Hello my motor enthusiasts. I'm Enzo coming to you live and direct from F1 Motor Fever podcast.
And I'm William, at your service.
It's always a pleasure to have you aboard, William. And to our listeners, if you're revved up for more Formula One insights, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss an episode.
Absolutely, let's keep the racing spirit alive.
Indeed. Today, we're diving deep into team strategies and driver dynamics. Full throttle. Moving on to the recent developments, the tension within McLaren has been palpable, hasn't it? The rains at the British Grand Prix really shook things up, leading to some questioning decisions from the team.
Indeed. It was a crucial moment when Norris pitted for intermediate rain tyres and came back in second place. But the real twist was not double-stacking Piastri, costing him significantly.
Then, the strategic dilemma over tyre choice in the final stint. Norris, following Hamilton's lead, opted for soft tyres despite having a new set of mediums on hand. A decision that perhaps played right into Red Bull's hands with Verstappen on the harder tyre.
And let's not overlook the Hungarian Grand Prix. That poor start from our British driver gave his teammate the sidling into turn 1. It was a narrow escape when Verstappen had to return the position after being investigated for leaving the track.
The focus on Hamilton seemed quite overplayed, given Norris could have had a 20-second lead had he won. It's these critical decisions that can turn the tides in such a competitive sport.
Absolutely. It's the decisions made in those split seconds that define the outcomes of races and, ultimately, championships.
Wow. I can't help but think how amazing the world of Formula One is. Such emotions, such competitiveness, such adrenaline. It's quite something, isn't it? What do you reckon, my lovely audience? Are you enjoying the content? Don't forget to hit the like button, alright? I'm absolutely loving these updates, and I hope you are too. Thanks ever so much for tuning in. Let's carry on. The scene at McLaren this season seems riddled with controversy and confusion. From the outside, it looked like a series of strategic blunders. The team radio exchanges during the race were a bit of a spectacle, weren't they?
Quite so. It all started when Piastri hit the gravel, and then the team asked Norris to swap positions, but how they managed it was rather clumsy. The polite request from Norris's engineer over the radio to re-establish the order at your convenience was just the beginning of what turned out to be quite an embarrassing sequence.
Indeed, and as the laps wore on, the messages coming through to Norris about his tyre usage sounded almost desperate. The team seemed to be scrambling, unsure of their next move, telling him he was using the tyres too much and that their director of engineering was stressed about the tyres.
And then the contradicting commands continued, instructing Piastri to close the gap before they could switch positions, which only added to the confusion. Norris was clearly faster at the end and wasn't keen on slowing down without a good reason.
It's that moment when Will Joseph gave what sounded like a schoolboy lecture over the radio that really caught my attention. Reminding Norris of the Sunday morning meetings when there were just 10 laps to go, it must have felt quite patronizing.
Absolutely, and Norris's response was telling, wasn't it? Yep, tell him to catch up then please. He was clearly frustrated and felt that he shouldn't have to compromise his race so drastically.
Then there's the broader implication for team dynamics. Joseph later emphasized that winning a championship isn't a solo endeavor, which is true, but the way it was communicated seemed to miss the mark, contributing to the tension.
With all that aired publicly over the radio, it really does throw into question how these internal strategies are managed and how they affect driver morale. Former F1 driver Tiff Needell didn't hold back on his critique either, noting that some of the comments from the pits were treating Norris like a schoolboy.
It's a complex puzzle, isn't it? The balance between team orders and allowing a driver to race instinctively is a delicate one. What do you reckon? How should teams manage these high-pressure situations without undermining their drivers? The whole situation with McLaren really does throw into relief the complexities of team management in high-pressure scenarios. Nico Rosberg's comment about how Mercedes had a playbook for every conceivable scenario really illustrates a contrast. McLaren's handling of the situation possibly damaged Norris's championship charge significantly.
Speaking of which, why didn't McLaren just let Norris race? I mean, if he was faster, isn't it just common sense to let him try and win?
Haha, that might seem like an obvious question to you, but remember, Formula One isn't always about the fastest car or driver on the day. It's also about long-term strategy, points accumulation over the season, and sometimes, team orders play a significant role in how these things are decided.
True, but I thought it might be a relevant point to clarify, especially for those new to the sport. Not everyone might understand the intricacies of team strategies and orders.
Fair point, but tread carefully. We don't want our seasoned listeners switching the channel thinking we're stating the obvious.
Even so, I reckon it's still worth discussing. It might seem straightforward to some but can provide a deeper understanding of the sport's dynamics to others. Plus, discussing these obvious strategies could shed light on why certain decisions are made, which isn't always clear from just watching the races.
Moving on to another fascinating topic within the Formula One world, the recent developments at Red Bull Racing are stirring up quite the conversation. Following the passing of Didi Mateschitz, the power dynamics within the team are undergoing a significant shift.
It's a tricky situation, isn't it? With the power struggle erupting between the Austrian minority shareholders and the Thai co-founder, it really does add a layer of complexity to the team's operations.
Absolutely, and Dr. Helmut Marko, always a blunt figure, made it quite clear that his focus remains on the racetrack, sidestepping the ongoing political squabble at the top. His comment in China about not being concerned with the politics and focusing on winning the next world title really speaks volumes about where his priorities lie.
It's a testament to the fact that despite internal turmoil, the primary objective remains competition and victory. It's all about keeping one's eyes on the prize, quite literally in their case.
Indeed, and this could serve as a crucial lesson in resilience and single-minded focus for many, not just in sports, but in any competitive field. Balancing internal dynamics while keeping an eye on the ultimate goal is no small feat.
And with such a dramatic backdrop, the upcoming races are going to be even more interesting. How these internal changes impact the team's performance on the global stage might just become a defining story of this season.
William, have a butcher's at what the punters on the internet are saying about the Formula One scene, shall we? It's always a hotbed of opinions.
Right, let's dive into it. The Chosen One said, quote, Max Verstappen post-Hungarian Grand Prix, the pit wall, have all the information there of course. Maybe I have to install that in my car, then I can do it myself, unquote.
Oh, that's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
Quite. And the comments are lighting up too. Nuclear Candle remarked, quote, Toto already planning the next update, unquote. And then Pushmojo Rawley added, quote, call me crazy, I think Max is heating this up to have a public excuse to leave with Helmut Marko, unquote.
Oh, there's always a conspiracy theory lurking about, isn't there?
Absolutely. And listen to this one from Shabanator, quote, you know nothing about Dutch mentality. He is super dull and direct with his feedback. If he tells that he means it 100%. Also, it's not to harm others, it is to help them do a better job. Fail fast to learn quickly is the Dutch way, unquote.
That's some insight. Seems like the fans really dissect every word and move, doesn't it?
They do, and it gets even spicier. Paid Jenny chimed in, quote, worked in NL and it took a while to get used to a Dutch project manager saying the most ruthless sounding feedback with the biggest dumb smile on his face. Anyways, great place, would work there again, unquote. And Fermentator agrees, saying, quote, that sounds refreshing. I don't have to tiptoe around the problem and know exactly what I am supposed to fix, unquote.
Looks like there's a bit of admiration for that Dutch directness. But it's not all roses, is it?
Not at all. MIA then claimed, quote, I'm Dutch, what Max is doing here is not Dutch mentality. He's just being an ass, unquote. And then Wintermute993 adds, quote, "These guys are making your fellow countrymen sound like idiots," unquote. Which prompted Takanata19 to say, quote, "Both things can be true. Worked with lots of Dutch military in the past. They are very direct with their feedback while still seeming jovial but also seeming a bit idiotic," unquote.
Blimey, the language here's a bit ripe. If I read that out, we might lose our sponsors. But it's clear, the fans are not just passive observers, they're part of the drama, living every moment with the teams and drivers.
And it doesn't stop at the commentary. It's about understanding the whole ecosystem of the sport, isn't it?
Spot on, William. The dynamics of Formula One are ever evolving, and it's these passionate discussions that keep the world of motorsport so incredibly vibrant and engaging. Thanks for tuning into F1 Motor Fever podcast today. We delved deep into the intricate world of Formula One politics and driver dynamics, and it's been a thrilling ride. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our discussions. Your engagement really drives us forward. Feel free to share our podcast across your social networks, be it WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or even during a casual chat over dinner or drinks. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, drop us a comment, we love hearing from you.
And keep your diaries open for our regular slots. The next one's just around the corner, and trust me, you won't want to miss what we've got planned. It's going to be a cracker, isn't it, Enzo? Lots of insightful chats and maybe a few laughs too, right here on F1 Motor Fever podcast.
Absolutely, William. We can't wait to share more with you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and for being such a brilliant audience. We're already looking forward to our next episode together.
Oh, and before we sign off, remember, whether you're in your car or comfy at home, keep tuning in. It's always a pleasure to bring you the best of Formula One.
Pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold.